Med Lida.
Yeah.
Okay, we make a clap.
Som om dainen det kan ha sier det allt. Jag heter så som min farmor heter Lydia. Nej.
Kunde man ha hållit.
Mamma певица. Спевает. Я же вам всегда пою, как хожу.
Конечно, не скучно.
When I came there in 2009, there was only 8 women left of the village. So it was really disappearing. But I could understand the language. To me, it sounds like old Norwegian, old Swedish, or like a Nordic kind of language. It's a mix between all the expressions that we don't use anymore in Sweden. This is what the women were speaking. And then there was this woman to the side of the bench, which was Lida, and she was standing there with her hat. It looked like she was trying to get into the conversation, but she was always interrupted, and she has a very deep voice, and she speaks very slowly. So the following day I took her aside and I did a long interview with her on her bed in her room at the old people's house, and I realized that she was I thought I realized that wow, she has this amazing way of telling stories. They are maybe slow, in a slow pace like she is, but in the end there is always this punch or twist or a tragicomic way of describing a very heavy situation.
Han går att trycka. Не, то я не до вас.
She told me that she had lost contact with her son, and it kind of triggered me to try to find him.
Hans hustru lever där uppe i Novarajsk, där som Lida var.
And then this story takes another trip, because Arvid then tells me that but Lida has a sister. So it became like a stafette. I shot with Arvid, and then I went to Siberia to meet with Maria. This is how the film started to develop into a film with 3 characters, close family relationship that had been disconnected, or they cut the relationship for different reasons. I never had the idea that through the movie they were gonna meet, but I got this idea that they would be connected through their memories.
Jag gav ju ingen svar åt honom, så att han väl tänker att jag är död.
Мама инсульт перенесла.
But the cinematic point of it was the beauty of the stories that Lida remembered, and the way she told them, and the way her sister talks about Lida, and the way Arvid talks about, and they are all like bearing grudges to each other, and they are all in this, but it's the main core of their like emotional pain somehow.
Hur ska jag få se? Det är ingen porträtt från Lida. Jag får se en i drömmen.
How you can be so far away from each other, the distance is huge between them, but emotionally they are super close. And for me, my experience is that within the family relationships, distance doesn't really exist when it comes to emotional contact. Memories is interesting, and it's visually interesting to work with, and one of the reasons why I also started to shoot on 16 millimeters.
Min syster hon bodde uppe i Konge, där som de körde pass ifrån Tyskland.
Yes, I interact with them and I interfere in their life. It's very important for me not to put any responsibilities on them. I'm the one who's making the film.
Var en hund som följde oss och han go.
I decide to recreate a memory from Lida's past with some Bolex shots. Sometimes I work with sometimes it's even me you see in the image. It's like the most important thing for me always is like don't worry about this outcome of the movie. I love what I am doing, and I love Arvid, I love Lida and Maria, but there is this film is something else. Is in the end also a product. Product sounds crazy, but it's like, I mean, it's 90 minutes of something. It's audio-visual work.
Och sen var han film. Ögonen stora. Tog grejten. Han lyste. Som om dagen inte kan ha på sig det allt.
When I was in Ukraine and I never worked with the translator, then it was just Lida, and she would defend me at the old people's home if the director of the hospital said that why are you shooting when they are eating or blah, blah. Then Lida would be like, hey, this is Anna's work, and she's traveled a long way. She would just like come and stand in between me and the and defend that I was there, and she was like, she's like my grandchild, so let her do her work. And then it was not so. I mean, I was there for my shootings are never very long with this movie. It was like between 7 or 10 days every time I was there, so I didn't exhaust them too much.
Jag har inte vän att hålla mig. Det borde vara här.
I think it was positive for Lida because she didn't have anyone visiting her.
4 pojkar och gossar. Ingen flicka hade jag inte.
I benefited from the fact that I activated some things and that I was Swedish. Maybe the memories, maybe it wouldn't have been the same memories that would have popped up. For every trip that I have made, I maybe come back with maximum of 1.5 hours raw material. What happens with the 16mm is that I realized my concentration got way better. You're super focused and you take some decisions in another way. And if you are making an interview on film, I would sit and I would like ask Lida something. And then when I think now she's getting into what I want her to answer, I would like point the shoulder to the cinematographer and like push record now. And then I would like hope that we had enough roll to finish Lida's story. So it was also became like a game almost.
Я пишу курить.
Хорошо. Han går att trycka. Не, то я не до вас.
I thought I could divide the movie in 4. Maybe I could have Ukraine with Lida, St. Petersburg with Arvid, Siberia with Maria, and then come back to Lida in the end. And then through these 4 pieces, I would connect them with memories, and the memories should be shot on the Bolex camera. The nostalgia that showed up during the summer was not really, I didn't expect it to be so vivid, and the colors that when you shoot Bolex becomes timeless in a sense, and you could actually shoot something if you would pay attention not to get a commercial brand or something. Like you could pick an image which could look like that it could have been shot in the 70s. The music, there is a score that is written for the film. The inspirations came from folk music in this area. So this is one layer, and then I wanted to mix with some of the classic music that Lida would hear when she was young. How do you put sounds to black and white, silent images, which I didn't shoot, but they are shot in the village. So it was a struggle to find the right way to do it. They are also made organic in a sense because they are analog, and he made them on spot in his studio while we were watching the materials.
Що ми такі жирні?
I'm watching the raw material a lot, like, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy editing. I know that I wrote to Katja at some point, like, I fucking love my job.
Därför lyftas hon så. När man vid henne bergfis. Därför att hon lyftas.
I mean, how can you paint the picture of a person? It's like it's kind of impossible. Just said it out loud. The movie is a puzzle.
Det är bara att ännu kan leva en så lång tid. Göra grummet allt.